in Malmö today at the National Swedish Total Defense Day, and I met some guys from the FFQ, it's Voluntary Air Corps Youth Department. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you. And they are aspiring to be pilots or reconnaissance guys or whatever, but doing great work. Yeah. So now let's check what we have in this area. Some police motorcycles, civilian version, and one with police labels. Here we have some terrain cars. If FAK, that's Voluntary Automobile Corps, and it's an old veteran terrain car, Volvo Valpen TGB 11. Also some very useful terrain vehicles with tracks. Some of you might have driven this one in the military service, so you should be familiar with it. It can travel in almost any terrain. And here we have Voluntary Motorcycle Corps with the Husqvarna motorcycle. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah. And can you tell what you do with the motorcycles?
Well, we are delivering messages and transporting fuel and everything, looking for people if they're missing and those things. Everything you can do with a bike.
Thank you. And people don't know how many voluntary organizations there are in Sweden. In the law, Swedish law, every person in Sweden is obliged to do some duty for the civil defense, and not many people are aware of that. Försvarsutbildarna, they are providing education, and here something I feel very much for. Can you tell what you do in the Air Force, Voluntary Air Force Corps?
Well, me and my colleague, we are instructors to youth primarily, and we do it in Ronneby and Halmstad, our two locations here in southern Sweden. It will be for youth in the age of 15 to 20 years old, and the purpose is to be more familiar with defense and how to act in different situations and to be a better human, actually.
Okay, thank you for telling. Important work. Okay, and here is where I belong, the Voluntary Air Corps. Actually from F6 Karlsborg, my old air base. Using small planes for reconnaissance, looking for missing peoples, sea reconnaissance, and here we have Nadia demonstrating a map.
Hi.
What are you doing, Nadia, in the FFK?
I'm flying as an observer, so I'm looking for things, and that can be people, making sure that the railroad is intact, making sure that the road is intact, or making sure that the power line is intact, looking for boats, stuff like that, basically.
Good. And here you have a map over Skåne, I suppose. Yeah. And you can see the power lines here and the bridges and lakes and everything. Very detailed map. Thank you, Nadia, for telling us.
See ya. Vad heter hemvärnet på engelska?
I don't know. Civil defense or something. Home guard or I don't know what the name of hemvärnet. Yeah. What are you doing in the Lottakåren?
We're the largest female organization in Sweden, about 6,000 females. We educate specialists for the home guard, like steps, clerks, cooks, and what you call it, undercover? No. Well, you can be placed in the home guard or in the regular army. So you can have a 4-year sign a lease for 4 years with either way. So that's what we do, and we're here today to inform.
Interesting. And I'm impressed of them because they have a very strong tradition in the Swedish society.
That's true.
And from my time in the Air Force, we had a lot to do with the Lottakåren because they were providing supplies and infrastructure and doing lots of important work.
And from the beginning, before the Great Second World War, we have developed to now have instructors in the home guard, and we are a lot of people that actually educate others to take part.
Very good, thank you. Important.
Thank you.
Thanks for telling us. Blå stjärnan, the blue star. I think they take care of the animals. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Yeah. And what do you do with the animals?
A lot of things. You have a small piece of paper here with all the things.
Okay, when there was storm and virus infection and salmonella, and then you take action. Hjältbrand, fågel, bird flu. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Thank you. As you can see, there's a voluntary organization for everybody. This is civil aviation. Oh, they have helped me a lot when I was working. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
We are recruiting air traffic controllers.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I have many friends who are air traffic controllers, and I was working as a SES pilot and Air Force pilot previously.
Yeah?
Yes, I have enjoyed your services.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are recruiting air traffic controllers, and especially for the military airports.
Okay, understand. Thank you for telling. I'm going to pick one of those. Thank you. Plikt and Prövningsverket. I don't know really what they do. What do you do at the Plikt and Prövningsverket? What's that?
It's the Swedish Assessment and Conscription Authority. We try out every youth. Since we have a conscription system in Sweden, we do have full-time soldiers as well, but every youth at the age of 18 is tested to see if they are fitted to do the military service. This applies both for men and women, so it's a neutral duty to do. So we test them out, and if they fit, we put them out to do their basic training in the military service. We also help out the police authority with the test that they have in their recruitation basis, and we also do some specialized testing for other categories of authorities in the civil defense.
Okay, interesting, and now important now because the number of conscripts are increasing.
Yeah.
According to government decisions. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are trying to keep up with the numbers that the authority give us to test out. So
and now you have to increase the capacity of the
testing. In August we are opening another office in Gothenburg. As it is now, we have the headquarters in Karlstad.
Okay.
And we have one office here in Malmö and one in Stockholm where we do the tests, and to keep up the numbers and our capacity, we open another office in Gothenburg this August. So.
Interesting. Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome.
It's a mobile police office. And an ambulance. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Are you showing the ambulance for people?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, of course you do a very important work too, both in peacetime and also in wartime, if that should happen. So yeah.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. Yeah, you do the same work actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And could you show the ambulance from inside?
Of course.
Would you?
It would be interesting. Yeah, because you don't, unless you're very sick, and then you don't have capacity to check their equipment. So what do you have in here?
we have lots and lots of equipment to do various different things. Of course, right now the cot is outside the ambulance for show. We have our defibrillator. This machine allows us to check a lot of the vital parameters when it comes to the patient. For instance, how well they're oxygenated, their pulse. We can even do an ECG with this one and send it into the hospital to be reviewed by a cardiologist.
So they are prepared when you arrive with the patient.
They are prepared. They are informed. So, for instance, when it comes to cardiac patients, this is our go-to equipment. We also have a lot of medication. Not able to show you that right now, but we have equipment that we carry up to the patient where we can cannulate them, for instance. We can do checkups. And here we go. Here's the cannulation equipment. We also have equipment for when we can cannulate the normal veins. We actually have a drill that allows us access into the bone marrow.
Oh. So you have a lot of stuff here. The balloons are for today.
The balloons are only for today, but what we do have always with us is our very, very important teddy bears. It's not just bleeding, pain, fractures, illnesses. It's also a lot about safety and providing a sense of safety for example, children. Big part of the job.
Yeah, interesting, because the soft human part is very important, because I wrote a book about fear of flying, and if you can make people more comfortable and relaxed and having less fear, you help them a lot, because it's a big part of their feeling.
Yeah, and also stress, anxiety. It will prohibit a person from taking in new information, and safety is also a lot about having or receiving information about what is going on, what the context is right now, and we need to keep that ability in our patient. We need to maintain that so that they
for communication purposes.
For communication purposes, but also to alleviate suffering. It's a big part of that.
I had lectures for ambulance personnel in Gothenburg, and I was comparing all the time with the fear of flying, and because one of 4 passengers have some kind of fear of flying. They are more or less worried, and I asked the ambulance personnel, do you think anyone is worried when they are going in an ambulance?
Yeah,
yes,
yes, there is.
Maybe even more than one of 4.
What we do is as simple as I'm sitting right here, right next to the patient, and sometimes what I need to do is as simple as just holding their hand, maintaining some kind of bodily contact with them. Just touch.
Good.
Because that will do a whole lot of difference, and also talking to them, finding some kind of common ground where we both can find some kind of it's just the sense of common ground. When you can reach that, when you can start talking to a patient, it kind of draws their attention from their pain, from their anxiety, from their illness, and that alone will do a whole lot for alleviating their suffering.
Good. Thank you for telling us. I'm impressed of your work, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Husqvarna motorcycle. Okay, let's ask the police what they are doing here. Are you recruiting new police officers, or
yes,
what are you doing?
Showing our equipment and like our dogs.
Searching for
for everything, humans, narcotics, weapons.
Interesting.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And you have the dogs in here. Should be wow. Very relaxed and
Yeah, they understand that nothing is going to happen here. So.
yeah. Sjövärnskåren. What are you doing at Sjövärnskåren?
Well, we mostly focus on our youth education, and we have adult operational work too. So our youth education is from 15 to 19, where the young people go through a series of schools where they're educated in everything: seamanship, navigation, first aid, firefighting, military appearance and stuff like that. And then for our adults we have operational work out on the sea, where we support the Swedish Armed Forces with various sea-related tasks, and other authorities too, like the police and the customs and stuff like that.
Interesting. Thank you for telling me. There are 26,000 applications for the Home Guard in Sweden right now, but they only need 8,000 at the moment, at least, which means that there's 18,000 persons who cannot join right now. But there are many other possibilities to give your contribution to the Swedish total defense. Something for everybody. Here's one more orchestra in front of the Malmö Central Station. Let's go and check out some ships. Here's more information about how you can prepare yourself in case of a crisis. Swedish Red Cross teaching people how to do CPR. Yeah. Do you have any students for the CPR?
Do you want to volunteer?
No, I know how to do it, and I frequently get training as pilot on the stuff. Yeah, but I think it's very good that you show people how to do it, because you can actually save someone's life. Hopefully, yeah.
I saved him.
You saved him. Yeah. You tried it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Swedish public radio stations, TV stations.
We're telling people about Swedish radio.
Yeah.
And our jag kan inte säga det på engelska. Beredskapsuppdrag.
But this is the Swedish radio a special task in case of emergency.
Okay, yeah.
And especially the P4 channel.
Yeah, because you get very important information when listening to the radio in case of a crisis. Is that so?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have that kind of obligation all the time, even though it's not a crisis. But in case of a crisis, all the authorities and other important organizations gives us important information so that we can spread them out to
interesting. So if there's a fire or some poisonous material leaking out, people should listen to the radio. Is that so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Turn on the P4.
Turn on the P4 and you
close
listen.
Windows. If there is a very important message and you can hear the sirens, you are supposed to turn on the radio, P4, close the windows and ventilation, and listen to the radio.
Yeah. Thank you for telling us. And this is an agency for psychological defense. Psychological defense, what's that?
What is psychological defense? It is an all-of-society approach where there's several components, part of it, resilience building, population, and supporting actors in Sweden. So you sort of build from within to become resilient against information influence.
Interesting, and especially now what's happening in Europe.
Especially now.
Not to mention any details, but
yes, no, it's true.
Of course, there are campaigns against Sweden, against our resistance.
There are campaigns, that's right, and it's been going on for some time.
Yeah.
We started working about 2016 in this, and the new agency, Psychological Defense, was established January 1st of this year.
Okay, it's new.
It's quite new, but our work has been going on for a few years already.
Okay.
So we were actually part of MSB, the Swedish Civil Contingency Agency.
What did you say?
Swedish Civil Contingency.
Contingency. Okay,
Yeah.
because I didn't find the exact English word for it. It's MSB in Swedish.
That's right. Yeah, Myndigheten för samhällsberedskap in Swedish. Yeah. So we were there before, and now Sweden has since 2018 it was announced that this agency should be established.
Very, very important. Thank you for telling us.
Thank you.
How you protect yourself in case of a gas attack. It must be warm in here. Very warm. Thank you. Missile systems. Tanks. And a Saab Gripen plane. Customs. Truck with equipment for searching vehicles. Stridsbåt 90. It's a landing craft. So I guess this is some kind of patrol ships. M75, that's a mine hunting ship. Vinga. Robin, he works on this boat, and what are you doing with the mine hunting ship?
We're hunting mines on the seabed with a sonar.
Yeah, can you hunt submarines too?
Yes.
Yes. And you have weapons against submarines too?
Yes, we have anti-submarine grenades and depth charges.
Perfect. And I understand you can see very accurately what's on the bottom of the sea. Yeah, impressed. Sjöräddningen, Sea and Rescue, that's a voluntary organization in Sweden too. Of course, I'm a member of the Sjöräddningssällskapet because I have a sailboat, and they can save me if I have some problems. It's all funded by donations. Artillery can be useful. It's self-propelled on a dumper chassis. Hercules.